the hard copy patterns that I have, and they're magazines, and they're patterns. And my goal of pulling them all out is to be able to sort them into piles. Those that I love, that I want to stitch, those that I like, that would be great to stitch, those that are okay, but I'll probably never stitch, those that I do not like and will never, ever, ever be anything that I ever stitch. Okay, so I'm not even talking about kits here. There is a few kits here, but I'm not even talking about kits. Maybe I should include kits in this too, because I have a whole drawer full of kits, like packaged kits. I'm just trying to make sense of this room and this dog that is licking my face. Ugh, sorry for those of you that grosses out. I just realized, like, my beautiful, fresh, new, cleaned up craft room, stitch room, playroom up here, since the last video, I'm a little embarrassed, has become just a bit hard to manage. So I'm gonna give it the old heave-ho try, whatever that means. I'm gonna just try. I'm just gonna try. Taki, you gotta sit down, buddy. So that's what this is gonna be about. And yes, I'll pull the kits out too. Wish me luck. All right, buddy, hang on. You have to settle down because I'm going to be doing a lot of this stuff. I'm going to be doing some up and down here. Hang on. All right, hang on. Hang on. Okay. All right, here's patterns, right? Yeah. Okay. This is the box of kits. Pattern kits. That's what these are. Okay. So, I confess. Okay. I confess, this is it. This is what I've got. I'm sorting through it tonight. I don't really know what possessed me, but I decided that I was going to do an inventory, take stock. I already know that I have a box of Q-snap parts that I inherited from a Facebook stash rescue, and some of them go together and some of them don't, so they may end up on Facebook again, Marketplace. So we'll see what happens with those. But there's a whole bunch of stuff. I've had some recent haul from Facebook Marketplace, as you know, and I showed you that last video, and I have to confess I did it again last weekend. I thought I was getting a few things of fabric and a couple frames, and then I walked out of there with a ton of fabric, a lot of frames, and a whole box of patterns and magazines. And $140 later, I kind of got like $1,000 worth of stuff from this old lady who was confessed to me that she had macular degeneration, and after stitching prize-winning stitches in the Augusta County Fair, she couldn't see anymore, so she was selling all her stuff, and they were selling their house and downsizing as an elderly couple. And yeah, I went in there and pretty much, well, if she wasn't blind already, I think I robbed her blind of all of her stuff. So she has some patterns, some P. Buckley patterns that she's selling separately, but Yeah, I basically took everything else for 140 bucks. All right, so anyway, wish me luck. Okay, this is what we're doing. Okay. Hello and good morning. After 5 hours of working on my pattern stash and my kits, I'm ready to show you my progress. I have a box of just magazines. I have a box of patterns that I'm keeping, including the full coverages and all of the other ones. And then I have 2 binders full of patterns that, like the Prairie Schoolers are folded into them, and some paper patterns that I pulled from my Etsy account that I would like to do those next. And then there's a miscellaneous box that has lots of little motifs and 2x2 stitches that I can do for my pincushion needle minders, and I will explain that in a minute. But anyway, let me show you what I did and what I'm going to be probably opening an eBay shop to sell, because I know I'm never going to get to it and I'm not going to do it, and there's some kits and patterns and all that kind of stuff, and there's a whole stack. So let me show you what I ended up doing last night for 5 hours. I got to bed around 4:30 in the morning. And of course it was only 30 seconds ago, so, don't worry. I'm fine. Okay. Did you get some good stitching done? Yeah, like a couple stitches? Oh, good. I'm glad. Okay. Here we go. So these are kits. These are all my Christmas whips, sort of Christmas patterns that I've got going. This is all alphabet, and this is tiny little kits, like Mill Hill kits, like that. So that's tiny little kits like that. Okay, that's one box. Then the other thing I'm keeping are, these are all of my magazines, from just cross stitch up the front to country cross stitch to some miscellaneous ones, like I showed you the one I bought from Sarah. And then these are Prairie Schoolers and other miscellaneous ones I pulled from Etsy. These are, this is the keepsake calendar for 2026, 2025 samplers, and these are just a few stitching magazines that I want to work on right now. And then, oh, there's another Prairie Schooler that I want to do. Yeah, so these are sort of ranked in order of things I want to do next. And then as they go back, they're just my regular, my Teresa Kogut's and stuff like that. So these are all the patterns I'm keeping, including my full coverages. These are from the Betty stash that you saw last week. She had some pictures of little mouse cartoons and stuff, and some other cute patterns that she had put into a photo album, so I kept those. And then these are my punch needle magazines, and these are the little patterns that I'm going to do for the bottle caps, the pincushion bottle caps. Ones like this, and I think I could probably get a couple of these done in there. I love that running horse. I love that wild horse. And then these little frogs, aren't they cute? I love that. So there are things like that miscellaneous patterns that I kept that are in this little box. Here, I'll just put these over here. And now I'll explain to you the pin. So do you guys remember this from a previous episode? The bottle caps, right? I've been still collecting them. There's more in there if you've noticed. And then these are the 2x2 squares that I got in a stash. If you'll remember that sharing that stash. So I'm going to start working on those today. This is the whip box of my current whips. So this is the Van Gogh coffee cup, this is the temperature chart, and then this is the sunflower that still needs to be done. These are 2 new patterns that I'm starting, my samplers, yikes, on the tea dye.
And I pulled out some threads to do a floss toss with that. This is the box of fabric that I thought I was going to be buying from that lovely lady. And I did buy from her. I thought this was what the $100 was going to be, not all of those patterns. Anyway, so that's all fabric to be dealt with. And then over here, this, excuse me, Taki. This is the box. All of this is going to go. So there are some kits in here. There's some magazines. And there's some other things. But that's what I'm going to probably end up selling on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so that's that. I also did some fabric dyeing yesterday from some of the things that I got from the Betty kit from last week, or last time I talked to you when we were unpacking the Betty kit. And I showed you that there were some bookmarks, some old lacy bookmarks. I washed them and cleaned them. And then I tried to coffee dye them, but the coffee dye didn't work so well. So I washed them again. And then I did some Rit dye with them yesterday. And this is what happened. I put them all in a bell jar. I wet them first with hot water and I squeezed them out. And then I scrunched them up into the bottom of a bell jar, one of those, fruit jars. And then this is the patterns that came out. I'm trying to put them in order as to how they got pulled out. I think it's this. There were 8 of them that I did. So this was the top one. Isn't that pretty? So I did 2 different colors of blue on here. I don't know what that dark blue is. That's just sort of weird that that happened. But anyway, so there's that one. This is a cool one. I don't know if that's still a little bit of the coffee stain under there, that it glommed onto the coffee stain. I don't know. But that's another one. And then as I pulled them out later in the jar, as we went down the jar pulling them out, there's that one. Isn't that pretty? And then this one. So pretty. And then this one. I hope you can see the gradation on that. See, they're starting to get whiter and whiter and whiter, like little patches of white in there, like clouds or something. There's that one. And then 2 more. And then that one. Isn't that pretty? This one was the very last one in the bottom. I think that's fantastic. I love that. I love the gradation of colors. I love how they came out of the bell jar. And I'll tell you how I did it. I didn't do it any of the ways that people say to professionally do it. I didn't use salt. I didn't do anything like that. I put them, as I told you, I wetted them, I cleaned them, I put them, scrunched them up, put them in the bottom of the bell jar. I poured some dye, some 2 different colors of blue. One was a cobalt blue and one was a light blue, I think, of the Rit dye liquid. Poured them in, put them in the microwave for 1.5 minutes. I know, the microwave, I know. And they were like bubbling up on the bottom. I was like, oh, I wonder what's happening in there. And then I pulled them out. I let them sit for about 30 seconds. And then I put on my gloves. I pulled them out and I washed them with dishwashing soap. And it was just great. They turned out great. So that is my dye. That's my little dye project. And it all took about half an hour. And then I just stuck them on my hanger and they dried last night. I mean, it was so quick, you guys. So quick. I don't have any progress on Soul and Intellect or Steampunk Cat Daddy because I haven't really touched it in, probably in, well, at least 3 weeks. Because I've been working on Wacky Girl. And I'll show you her. I've been working on my Wacky Girl. Let's see. I have a backing, a metal board backing that I got from this lovely lady's, the last stash from the lovely lady. She gave me this big metal board that I can magnetize and put things on. So here she is. Oh, isn't she sweet? So I did all the flowers on the bottom and I finished her hair. And I'm working on the garden at the bottom. Isn't that cute? There she is. There she is, Wacky Girl. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on today. And, yeah, I'm going to start bottle caps today. And I'm going to work on Wacky Girl today. And I'm just going to probably watch true crime or, you know... Oh, there's a series on Amazon that a friend of mine really wants me to start. Autumn, I am going to start watching Ghosts. Are you watching that? Do you like it? Let me know if you like it. I'm going to start watching that today and I'll see what that's like. And besides that, it's a beautiful Sunday here in Virginia. The rain has stopped, finally. We've had so much rain. I can't even believe how much rain we've had. Poor Tinker. I come home from work and she's in the bathtub. She gets so scared from the thunder and the lightning. At least she's smart. She goes into the bathtub. And Taki's in his crate most of the day. He has a very large crate that he just hangs out and sleeps in. And, but yeah, we've had so much rain this summer. I can't believe that it's going to be fall soon. It's incredible. I mean, the summer's almost gone. Where did it go? Here in Virginia, anyway. I know in Australia it's probably freezing cold, right? You guys are getting ready for summer. So, hi, Lara. Anyway, yeah, so that's all my news, guys. I just spent like 5 hours cleaning the stitching room and going through my patterns, and I feel really accomplished. I made that comment about the 4 stacks last night. Oh, and thank you, by the way, for putting up with me in my pajamas. I don't know. I was getting ready for bed and I thought I should really do something about those patterns. I don't want to go up and stitch in a messy room tomorrow. So I was just like, okay, I'll do it. I just said to my sister on the phone, I think I have adult ADHD. I can't remember what I was saying. I think I'm just really tired too. Oh yeah, the weather. So we've had so much rain that it's been hot. It's been in the 90s this summer, but it's also been so rainy that it's been really hard to cut the grass. And last week I cut the grass when it got so tall after 3 weeks of rain. It was like as tall as a small child. And it took me about 3 days to cut the grass. Yikes. Yesterday afternoon, it took about an hour and a half to cut the grass, and the grass was only like that tall. That's how wet the ground is. But we have to keep it cut or else it's going to be like, you know, it'll grow so fast. So hopefully, if it's this wet this summer, I wonder what the winter's going to be like. I don't want to anticipate a lot of snow, but I kind of like snow. So I know people in New England and Maine are like, "Oh, come on up," you know. But anyway, so it's nice to hang with you. Thank you for letting me check in with my progress on patterns. Oh my, patterns, kits, organizing. Oh my. I'm very grateful to see you again, and I hope you're having a wonderful week and a beautiful stitchy time wherever you are. And just remember, I'm out there stitching with you. Be happy, be well. I hope you're filled with loving kindness, and I hope you're joyfully stitching wherever you are. Peace to you. Bye. The sound of the storm. Oh, it's a big one. guys hear that? It's a big storm now. As I walk into my house, you will see what happens in my house when I go away for a storm. Whoop, here we go. Do you hear that? You hear that? Poor Tinker. Poor little baby. She can't handle it. She's always in the bathtub. Little Tinker's in the bathtub, baby. Here we go.